Battlefield REDSEC review. Y'all know what time it is.
You know something didn't quite go right when the best mode in Battlefield 6's free-to-play Battle Royale-focused spin-off Battlefield REDSEC is the one that isn't a Battle Royale at all. While REDSEC takes notes from other grounded-ish military Battle Royales, it doesn't innovate much on what's already worked. The destructible environments and powerful vehicles of Battlefield 6's otherwise exciting multiplayer seem like a perfect fit for this genre. But the relatively shallow execution just hasn't hooked me the way Fortnite's cartoonish chaos and electrifying events did, nor has it separated itself from the likes of PUBG or Call of Duty Warzone. Instead, I've had way more fun when its map is used to push the boundary beyond the requisite ever-shrinking storm in the squad-based, elimination-driven Gauntlet mode that cleverly fleshes out the mission structure hidden within the Battle Royale's streamlined familiarity.
It's like he won a banana split, banana split sundae with chocolate syrup poured all over it with the cherry on top with sprinkles. But like, why you think vanilla ice cream is the highest selling ice cream? Because it's the base, it's the foundation. It's just regular. It works. So there's nothing wrong with this game being very simple and bare bones. In my opinion.
You know the drill.
Hold on. All right, here we go.
You and a squad mate drop onto a massive map in the rapidly blinking eye of a destructive storm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. In REDSEC's case, you're looting blown-out shops and construction sites for anything you can find in Fort Lyndon, a fictional military base in Southern California. Dotted with memorable named locations like the golf course and the lighthouse, there are all kinds of high vantage points for sniping and tight corridors for scrapping.
I'll be in the tight corridor scrapping.
And with destructible terrain
and a
seemingly endless supply of artillery and airstrikes, these locations have a tendency to devolve into bombed-out rebar skeletons or collapse entirely, sometimes on top of you. This blend of different battlegrounds makes for a balanced, tense frenzy within each location, especially in matches with 4-player squads. Even the dusty roads and stark topography in between do a good job of keeping things balanced, with plenty of hills and valleys or scattered vans and small buildings offering cover from enterprising marksmen.
Far afield.
When cover fails, you'll get a second chance if you fall early enough in battle and your squad mate doesn't revive you in time. That comes complete with a second drop-in, and you'll need to re-up on gear and consumables from there. I like that you can even make redeploying at the right moment work in your favor because you can aim for special pickups from your parachute that weren't there when the match started. Battlefield 6's class system translates well into a Battle Royale, with each of the 4 classes offering something helpful. I usually stuck with the all-around assault class that specializes in assault rifles because it has the best boosts for completing REDSEC's mid-match missions, but each class shines in its own way. The Engineer class seems the most useful at first glance because it can repair vehicles just like in the main mode, as well as use its blowtorch to open special weapon lockers that are otherwise locked. But the support and the recon classes each offer their own benefits too, especially when you coordinate with a team. Classes aside, REDSEC's Battle Royale actually dilutes the chaos and excitement of Battlefield 6's premium modes by spreading its madness out over a massive map. Its 100-person lobbies are only about 50% bigger than the 64 people in all-out Warfare matches, but Fort Lyndon is definitely more than 50% bigger than your average Battlefield 6 map. This math does REDSEC no favors. Suddenly, crazy and complex sequences with collapsing buildings and vehicular showdowns lose their chaotic excitement because the open map gives you more places to run and hide. As a result, REDSEC doesn't have much to set it apart from other military battle royales. Its hardcore realism-ish nature might be part of the draw to anyone looking to avoid getting ran at by Nicki Minaj or Homer Simpson, but nobody's gonna confuse the tactical aesthetic for personality. It kind of feels like this could be any other big-budget military shooter adapted into a battle royale.
But it's not though. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's Battlefield. It's an established brand. I think what they're going for is a more clean, more formal, more grown-up approach to the Battle Royale. You're not, like you say, you're not going to see Bart Simpson and running around. You're not going to be building hotels, while you're fighting and shit like that. You're not going to see Snoop Dogg hitting the Dougie and nothing like that. It's just a straightforward, like, military shooter. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I feel like he's trying to knock it for that.
Thankfully, REDSEC's compelling mission structure takes a rewarding cleaver to the otherwise ho-hum military doldrums. They're kind of like the missions and bounties you'd find in Fortnite, but with better rewards and more diverse challenges. Automatically populating in your map menu after the first few seconds of each match, you're usually presented with 3 missions, but those options might diminish as the round goes on. The rewards and risks of attracting others that come with each mission, on the other hand, remain consistently worthwhile and well communicated. They range from helpful stuff like weapon upgrade packs, one-time use abilities like destructive airstrikes and UAV surveillance drones that reveal enemy locations,
UAV online
XP, and strong guns. I love how explicit REDSEC makes all of the mission rewards. Sure, it doesn't specify which weapon or even type of weapon will drop from a mission, but guns outside my preference still made a huge difference. Even with otherwise uncooperative squad mates, those irresistible rewards spurred me into planting the bombs and capturing the waypoints required to earn them. That seems to be REDSEC's secret sauce. Each in-game mission pops up like clockwork after a few seconds, only requiring a couple of button presses to reveal the next target. Hinging on classic military FPS objectives like babysitting a planted bomb or picking up an important file so you can transmit its signal back to home base, these smaller side quests add order and welcome direction to the otherwise listless pace of conquering the battlefield. Some, like planting a bomb, will reveal your location with a big red marker on nearby enemy screens and match that with an equally loud siren alerting opponents to your location. But if your loadout isn't battle ready and you're worried about running into other players, there are other ways to get better gear. In addition to the standard looting option, weapons, armor, and other useful pickups will randomly rain from the sky. Custom weapon drops make for the most useful and desirable pickups, giving you access to one of your customized weapons from Battlefield 6's standard multiplayer mode. I like that these drops work once for each player rather than just giving one squad their trusty sniper or assault rifle, but it almost feels like a microcosmic participation trophy rather than rewarding squads who treat these drops like hard push objectives and beat out the others.
But you got to do something a little bit different from the competitor if you want to, we're talking about standing out. So you want to do something that your game is defined by, rather than just following the competitor to the letter. You could keep it simple, but still have your own vibe to it at the same time.
REDSEC
I think the classes alone kind of give it its own vibe and its gameplay, like the sound design, the TTK, things of that nature. I think that gives it its own vibe as well.
Offer enough to do in between wiping enemy squads and looting military-themed chests compared to some of its contemporaries, but the map-driven context of each mission does add spontaneity and strategy for the ways you might carry out a mission. For example, taking a bomb-setting mission when you're close to the otherwise slow and unthreatening firestorm that closes in around you might dissuade anyone from a risky diffusion that puts them right at the edge of the billowing wall of smoke.
He had the drop on them. He should have took.
In contrast, the Gauntlet mode ditches the storm entirely as it expands each of these extra objectives into full-fledged game modes. It pits a handful of 4-player squads against each other to rack up the most points on each objective, and even adds a few extra scenarios to the mix. Totaling 8 different game types, the mode and round rotates between locations in Fort Lyndon, with the 2 lowest performing squads getting eliminated each time. I think my favorite is the area control mode, where each squad is competing for a small hexagonal chunk of the map that has its own corresponding satellite dish to take over. There are usually 15 to compete for, making each round of circuit a chaotic, scrappy battle for domination that rewards different kinds of play depending on which part of the map you're fighting for. Gauntlet also cleverly recognizes that some people just want to play each mode like deathmatch, and weighs points accordingly, with kills and revives contributing to the scoreboard. And to make things more competitive, all points double in the last minute of each round, preventing any team from completely running away with the win. Gauntlet ends up working almost more like a brilliant mishmash between Fall Guys and a squad-based free-for-all version of traditional Battlefield than it does the otherwise uninspired Battle Royale that houses it.
Okay, what he talking about? I think he's probably still giving it 8.
All 3 of its main queues, Battlefield REDSEC's slow-rolling storm just hasn't done much to keep me wanting more, aside from introducing a few interesting missions here and there. It's enjoyable, sure, but its adaptation doesn't mesh well with the pace and epic scale that makes Battlefield 6's regular multiplayer so much fun. But where REDSEC's Battle Royale only dilutes that formula, the Gauntlet mode that lives alongside it instead boils down and concentrates the best stuff from both Battlefield and Battle Royales at large into one of the coolest game modes I've seen from a military shooter in a long time. I hope EA and DICE plan on fleshing it out as part of their Battlefield 6 roadmap, because while I may not be interested in playing more of the Battle Royale mode, I am certainly interested in more Gauntlet.
7, okay. Not bad.
For more on Battlefield 6, check out our full reviews of the campaign and regular multiplayer.
Did I look at the campaign review? Hold on, let me double check this. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we already did these two. We already reacted to these two. So let me go back
taking a bomb setting,
do what I do. So Battlefield REDSEC, this is the free-to-play Battle Royale modes. I was checking out this review from IGN. He gave it a 7. And he mentioned how it didn't, like, it was fun, but it didn't really stand out. But I don't think it needs to stand out. I think this mode is more so a kind of straightforward, like more like formal, like, you know, grown man business like kind of mode. You know, you're not gonna see Marge Simpson and Nicki Minaj and Beavis and Butthead running around. It's not as fast paced. It's kind of more realistic. Not exactly a tactical shooter, because you know those tactical shooters are like very slow paced. But this is, you know, it's like best of both worlds. It's clean, it's fun, and you just doing your thing, man. I don't see nothing wrong with it. But yeah, y'all let me know how y'all feel down in the comments. All right, y'all already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy JusticeXFalls, and we out. One.